Hey everybody, new background. Some of you guys may be wondering where I am right now, and the answer to that question is hell! Bears lose to the Minnesota Vikings in Soldier Field by a final score of 27-24. And yeah, this is new levels. It just keeps getting worse and worse and worse and worse, doesn't it? It's just God. So the final score is pretty close, 3-point loss. If you told me going into this game that that was going to be the score, I probably would have been fine with that. I was like, wow, 20, like that's fine. Like I genuinely, I would have been okay with that. But garbage time touchdown and a pick six you take away from that. And the Bears had 13 points on offense tonight. Aside from a touchdown late, which really didn't matter because we had no timeouts, which we'll get into that. And then a pick six, which was great. It's just, ugh. Yeah, the Bears are really great at finding brand new ways to break my spirit. Like, it's got to be a sport for them. Because their sport definitely isn't football at this point. I'm really... All right, I need to kind of step back a little bit because it's easy to say. So I said before, I was like, all right, the Bears, new interior O-line, new head coach, new offense, young QB, ton of new weapons. That's going to take some time to gel. You can't expect that to go balls to the walls out of the gate, especially against the Vikings, who have one of the best defenses in the league. It is very easy to say that ahead of time, but it's a whole nother beast to go out and actually watch it happen. That first quarter is some of the most fun I've had watching the Bears in, I don't even know how, at least 3 years. Like, that was, oh my God, it was just pure magic. Like, the crowd was on fire. Defense was playing lights out. Caleb had that first drive that was just, but I'd say after I'll say fourth drive, the Bears offense just went completely silent. Dead silent. And you could say like, oh yeah, like this, that, whatever factors, whatever excuses. And I'm not even gonna lie, man. Caleb Williams, he had a great first quarter. I'll give him the first 3 or 4 drives, but after that, man, it's not good enough. It's year 2. I'm gonna start holding him to a higher standard than that. That is not good enough. That's not what we were looking for. O-line actually kind of impressed me. Penalties. Ridiculous tonight. Ridiculous. I think we had like 170 yards in penalties. Like, it was horrible. And you know what? I actually really disagreed with some of the calls the refs made towards the end there. But if I'm going to say a percent, I'd say 80% at least were good penalties. And that's not okay either. And I'm hoping that's not a harbinger. I never really knew what to say of that one. Of things to come. Yeah, this was just so the Bears go up huge. Not huge, but like the momentum was just so strongly in their favor, especially going into halftime. JJ McCarthy looked like garbage. Especially against our secondary, which was missing TJ Edwards, Jalen Johnson, and Kyler Gordon. The Bears defense stepped up in those first 3 quarters, I'd say. Like, really, especially on D-line, I was like, I cannot believe what I'm watching right now. Because I thought that was going to be like, without all those injuries, I was like, good luck, man. Like, our D-line didn't look very good in camp. Like, I was like, oh. But no, they were getting pressure all night long with 4. Not even with blitzing, pressure with 4. And our backup secondary, I think it's Nashawn Wright. Oh my God, he was on Justin Jefferson. Justin Jefferson didn't do anything until the 4th quarter when Nashawn Wright got hurt. And he had a pick 6. Like, it was just total control of the game. No real cause for, like, the Vikings just had nothing going. They had like 6 points at halftime because they got like a dumb like field goal at the end of the game, which at the end of the quarter, which also shouldn't happen. Like, that was dumb, blown coverage. Like, and also that only existed because the refs gifted them an extra little bit of yards as well from a pretty ticky-tack call, I thought. I think that was that drive. I might have been thinking of a different one. Anyway, coming out of halftime, though, like, and even in those first 3 drives when Caleb looked really good, I don't want to say the alarm bells, but, like, the cracks in the foundation were still a little bit apparent, if that makes sense. He was holding on to the ball a long time. He was not really throwing with a ton of confidence outside those first few drives. But the alarm bells were kind of going off for me. It was a lot of rushing, a lot of evading sacks, which he's really good at. I knew he was good at that, but he looked great at that tonight. And then towards the end of the third quarter, it just Bears offense shut down the entire second half. We had 3 points outside of the first drive until the very end. Bears defense started to get lit up by J.J. McCarthy, who looked terrible in the first half. Like, I really thought we had that game in the bag because J.J. McCarthy was playing so bad that we didn't even have to worry about it. And then that. And then at the end, we have to play catch-up. We get a touchdown. And then we're down by 3, which, by the way, that touchdown would have tied the game if we didn't go for it on 4th down at the Vikings' 20-yard line early in the game. A call which I thought was iffy at the time. I think we were up, I think it was 7-3, and you could go up by a full tutty, and it didn't work. Caleb missed a lot of passes today. Now, also it's hard to evaluate this because we don't know how good this Vikings team really is. That's what's tough about these Week 1 games. Last year, we played the Titans, who went on to be the worst team in the league. And it was a very close, stupid win. That only looked worse as the year went on. The year before, we got blown out by the Packers at home Week 1. That loss looked a little bit better as the year went on, and the Packers went on to make the playoffs, went to the divisional round, put up a good fight against the NFC champion 49ers. That was like, that's something we don't know yet. We don't know how good this Vikings team is going to be. But if they go on to kind of suck this year, this loss is going to really sting. And it already stings. It really does. So now we have to go on the road next week against Detroit, who looked really bad against the Packers. But this was an entirely winnable game this week. Entirely winnable. Like, it's wild to me. It feels like I really don't know, like, this is a very unique game. Like, this was just something I've never really, like, I don't even know what to say, really. Like, that was just I don't even want to say it was a blown lead, because our biggest lead was, 11 points? But the offense was just, man. And like I said, great Vikings defense. There's all these new pieces, new offense. Caleb's young, blah, blah, blah. But, man, Caleb, I'm getting tired. I got really tired of making excuses for Justin Fields about halfway through year 2, year 3. And he had a lot less going for him than Caleb. This offense is designed specifically for him. That's what Ben Johnson said every step of the way. Now, Ben Johnson also said it's going to take a while for it to get going. And this is something that, I do feel like going into this game, Bears fans had their expectations very high. They got really hyped from the Ben Johnson stuff, all of that. when I saw how he played against the Chiefs starters a couple weeks ago, I was like, okay. But I still was pretty like, I was like nervous anticipation for this game. And worst case scenario for me was a close loss where the defense plays good and the offense plays like garbage. That was something I was like, man, like I don't mind losing if the offense looks good. You know, if we lose in a shootout or whatever, I'm fine with that. And once again, it's the Bears. This is the Bears. It's the same. It's the same thing. It's the same Bears. They got all this plastic surgery and makeup on. And I can still see that it's them. It's still a team that has questions at QB, has questions on offense, has a defense that plays strong for 3 quarters and then gives it up at the end. It's still what we are. Man, that first half was so fun, though. That was really fun. That first quarter was... I was euphoric. Like, I was like, I was like, oh. Especially after that pick 6, I was just giddy with excitement. But then the Bears offense, Caleb missing throws, inopportune penalties, which were a problem. And just bad luck. I'm really just... More than anything, I just wanted to show that we're different. I've said that, I think, every year, but I just want this to be a different Bears team. Just for once in my life. I want a Bears team that's fun. Haven't felt any fun for a while. And it's just week 1. That could change. Season's far from over. But the problems I'm seeing from Caleb still, it's officially starting to worry me. And once again, which was my issue last year, no deep shots at all. At all. Didn't try anything from beyond 30. And that was something I was concerned about last year. I was like, wow, Caleb hasn't tried his deep ball at all. I know it wasn't working, but I'd like to see him at least try. And he's still not doing it. Still holding on to the ball. Still passing up on reads. Still doesn't trust his receivers. Especially toward the end, when every play was just going wrong that they were trying. We had no run game tonight. That's still a problem. Everyone knew it was a problem. But Ryan Poles said, no, we still believe in DeAndre Swift. We're not going to draft anybody to replace him. We had a chance to draft Amari and Hampton. We had a chance to draft Travion Henderson or Cam Scatterbo or any of those running backs except for Ashton Genty, who I still think they could have tried more to trade up to get him. But no, we had to take Colston Loveland, who had 2 catches tonight. This one sucks. It really, really sucks. I remember at halftime being like, I'm not mad, you know? Like, the offense kind of sputtered toward the end of the second quarter, but I was like, I'm not mad with how we're playing. I'm content. That defense is playing well. McCarthy looks bad. Caleb looks fine. Like, Caleb had looked really good up until that point. And I was ready to get in here and make this video and be like, oh my gosh, we got, you know. But no, we don't get that stuff yet. Oh, man. This sucks. And the worst part is it was on national TV, you know? That was just something I didn't want. And I was jealous almost that the Jags got to face the Panthers, because the Jags are kind of a similar situation, young quarterback still developing, new head coach, new pieces. They got to play a nice low pressure game against the Panthers. Noon, hardly anybody watched it. Having the full weight of the nation watching us, all the expectations in the world. It's going to be tough. And now you're setting the tone for the whole season, not only for yourselves, but what everyone else is going to think of you. That was a stinker. And we put up 24 points. I'm actually really excited about the defense going into the rest of the year. Need better from the offense. And we really need better from the run game. DeAndre Swift is just not an every down back. He never has been. We had 4 years of proof of that. And they decided to sign him for 3 years, $10 million a year. And we're seeing the same guy. We're seeing somebody who can't break tackles, who's good in space, but he's not an every down back. He's not a workhorse bell cow running back. And we had the chance to address that, and we just didn't. And that was a glaring problem with getting the offense going, is the Vikings defense kind of realized, oh, hey, their run game doesn't work. Let's just kind of sit back in the secondary a bit and make Caleb sweat. And that's what happened. I'm happy with what the O-line did. I'm happy with how they kind of kept Caleb clean. I think he only took 1 sack. Let up some pressure, but Caleb was able to get around it. That was good. Defense, D-line looked really good. But like I said, I don't know what that means yet. We don't know how good this Vikings team is. All I know is I just watched the Bears team really let one go through their fingers, especially towards the end. I think they let up 21 points in the fourth quarter. Unacceptable. And then the offense would get the ball. You need to chew clock. You need to get points. You need to get something. 3 and out. Missed throw. Bad accuracy. Play design not working out. Running back stuff for 2-yard loss. Sack. Bad penalty. I'm hoping these are just week 1 jitters that are going to be worked out. Because there's, there's all these excuses I can lay, but at the end of the day, all I can see is what I saw. Man, really let that one go. Would have loved to have started this 1-0, especially against the division rival that was really good last year. Instead, we blew a lead, let a young quarterback, not a rookie, but basically rookie, look really good after starting the game horribly. And now we're 0-1, and we just gave him confidence. And now I think the narrative is flipped now. It started with, wow, Caleb looks good, JJ looks like garbage. Now it's going to be, wow, JJ looked really good, and Caleb, it's just not good enough. It's not good enough. It looked like he made no improvement to his game over the offseason. It looked like he didn't fix his accuracy or his confidence or any of that. So we'll see where this goes, I guess. But God, that just sucked. I like the defense.